Hey y'all, my name is Christian. I'm a millennial, and this is the Millennial Mind. Millennials get a bad rap for being lazy, non-productive members of society. They are also told that their opinions are warped and that they don't matter. This podcast is designed to express an opinion, but from a millennial's perspective. We will talk about everything from love and relationships to pop culture to pretty much everything that comes to mind. Come join me on this journey of speaking my mind, and I hope that all of you are speaking your mind as well. This podcast is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. It's free. Free free. There's also creation tools that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more platforms. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. I actually use Anchor for this podcast, and it has saved me a lot of time and energy because everything is consolidated in one place. It just makes it so much easier. So if you're interested in doing the same thing, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Once again, you can download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of The Millennial Mind. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey of speaking my mind, and I hope that all of you are speaking your minds as well. So before we get into this week's episode, I have a few announcements. First, thank you all so much for continuing to listen to this podcast. I do not take it for granted at all. I really appreciate each and every one of my listeners. I hope that you are on the same journey as I am in speaking your mind, or if you were already on that journey, that you've seen growth since listening to this podcast. That's all I want, is to encourage you all and to see you all grow. So that's number one. Thank you so much. Also, if you would like to support this podcast in any shape or form, whether it's monetary or if it's through encouraging words, first of all, you can send the encouraging words through email. You can send it to mindofmillennials@gmail.com, and that email address will be in the show notes. Also, if you would like to donate monetarily, you can, or I should say support rather, monetarily, you can. All you would need to do is go to anchor.fm/Christian-Fuller. So that's Anchor, ANCHOR.FM/Christian, like the religion, -Fuller. And that website address will be in the show notes as well. From there, you can click the button that says support, and you can give any monetary gift that you see fit. You can also send a message through that link as well. So you could either do it through my email, or you could do it through the Anchor website that I provided earlier. You can do like a written message, or you could do a voice message, whichever you prefer. I would love to hear you guys' voices, because I know you're probably tired of hearing mine all the time, or maybe not, because you keep listening. So thank you for that. Also, I want to let you guys know that I do have a blog now. Yay, I have a blog. Yeah, during that 3 or 4 month hiatus, I worked on myself, worked on my brand, trying to get more content to you all. And that's what I did. I created a blog. It's pretty much the same setup as The Millennial Mind, just kind of expressing myself, but it's more encouraging, more motivational. And the name of my blog is What Makes You So Special. That's the name of the blog. And it's intended to help readers to go on the journey of being their most authentic selves. So that website address is christianfuller.com/blog. And that website address will also be in the show notes. I have I actually have a few posts on there already. So you guys have some content that you can read. But let me know in the comments, if you enjoy the blog, if you want to see me do some particular content, let me know, and I will be more than happy to consider it and go from there. Okay, I believe that is all of my announcements. Okay, let's get into this episode. So, you all know that I love playing games. I grew up playing games. My dad was the one who really got me and my brother into games, and I've been playing them ever since. I love them. I particularly love games that are thought-provoking and produces some kind of deep conversation, because believe it or not, that's a turn on for me. Was I supposed to say that? Maybe not, but there it is. It's definitely a turn on for me to have a deep conversation with someone, to just to get to know a person better. Now, that doesn't mean that, every person I meet, I'm really getting turned on. The only person who's really turning me on is my husband. But what I'm trying to say is that I just love having deep conversations with people. I love getting to know people better and getting to know their thoughts and their feelings on certain subjects. So I decided to participate in the game this week. I heard about this game on the Love Hour podcast. If you don't listen to that, please listen to it. Kev on Stage, Kevin Fredericks, and Mrs. Kev on Stage, Melissa Fredericks, are the hosts of that podcast, and it's a really good podcast. I listen to it weekly. But on one of their podcasts, they played this game called We Are Not Strangers. We are not strangers, or we are not really strangers. So basically, they asked questions that were thought-provoking and produce a deep conversation. So that's what I'm going to do today. Now, I don't have anyone to have this deep conversation with, but I'm going to pretend that I'm having this conversation with you all. And I would love to hear your comments, or see your comments rather, on each question. Now, I haven't seen these questions at all, so this is going to be kind of on the fly for me, which, I should be used to as an attorney, but a part of it kind of scares me. So you guys are about to get some authentic answers, okay? All the uhs, all the ahs, all the pauses, you all are about to get them all, okay? So without further ado, let's play We Are Not Strangers. Okay, first question. Now, like I said before, I haven't seen these questions, so let's see how this goes. First question. Let's see. Do I think plants thrive or die in my care? And explain. So I believe it is a 50-50 chance that a plant is going to thrive or die in my care. I would say if it's just like regular flowers, so like roses or lilies or orchids, they're going to die in my care. You know what? No, I take that back, because my husband, he actually bought me some roses for my birthday, and they lasted a pretty good while. It was about 2 weeks, which I was surprised, because usually with roses, it lasts about a good few days in my care. So I'm getting better. I also, during the summer, try to put flowers outside of my house, just to make my house more decorative and everything. And yeah, it really depends on how um, how motivated I am to really care for those flowers. So I would say there's a 50-50 chance that plants will thrive in my care. Okay, that was a completely random question, but I'll go with it. Okay, let's keep going. Do I seem like someone who would get a name tattooed on myself? Why or why not? Okay. I would not get a name tattooed on myself. I have no tattoos, first of all, but let's start there. I don't have any tattoos. I've always wanted at least one, something kind of cute, like a little flower or something on my wrist. But I don't like pain. If I can avoid pain, I will. I heard that tattoos aren't painful. They said, oh, don't worry about it. Your body part, whatever body part's getting tattooed, will go numb after a while. No. Nope. No. That's not what I do. I don't like pain. I don't like body parts going numb because the pain is that bad or whatever. No. No. So me getting a whole name, a whole entire name tattooed on myself, no. My name is, I think my name is like 9 characters. Let's see, CHRISTIAN. If I had a video, you guys would see that I'm like counting with my hands. Do not judge me. Judge your mama instead. Okay, so I definitely would not get my name, because my name is 9 characters. And then my husband's name, Landon, LANDON, is 6 characters. No. That just sounds like pain. It sounds like pain that I can avoid. So I'm going to avoid it. So me getting a name tattooed on myself, absolutely not. I wouldn't even get my own. Do not judge me. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, this is fun. What do my shoes tell people about me? Oh, that's a good question. So I have a lot of heels. I don't have a lot of gym shoes or tennis shoes. I don't have a lot of flats. I don't have a lot of boots. If I do have boots, they have a heel on them. I don't really have a lot of flat boots, like with no heel. I feel like my shoes tell people that I really like to get dressed up, which I do. I like making a fashion statement, which I do. I love wearing heels. To me, they just take your outfit to a whole nother level. You can be wearing like sweatpants, but once you put on that heel, it's like, bam, there she is. Like you walk a certain way when you're in heels. You stand a certain way when you're in heels. You feel a certain way when you're in heels. I feel like heels take your confidence and your look to a whole nother level. So I would say that my shoes tell others that I like making fashion statements, that I'm confident in what I'm wearing, that I'm secure in what I'm wearing, and that I really like heels. That's what I believe that my shoes would tell me about me. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Okay. Okay. My next question, was I popular in school? Absolutely not. I was not popular in school in any shape or form of the word. I was very quiet in school. I was very bookwormish. So, like in grammar school, I had my certain circle of friends that I would hang out with, but it was never popular kids in any shape or form. And that was from that was all through my academic career. I've just never been popular. I'm kind of weird, not in the bad way, but in the good way. I don't do the norm. I don't like being a part of the norm because, there's already a lot of them already. And who wants to be a clone? I don't. I'm myself. So I may, you know, do a silly video. I may tell corny jokes. I may twerk to gospel music. Do not judge me. But I'm just silly. I'm just a silly, goofy person. I like Marvel movies. I like DC movies. I'll also see a romantic movie every now and then. I'm just an all around weird girl. I'm not like your typical popular girl, so to speak. And I was pretty much the same in school, like back during when I was in school. So I was never popular. And a part of me kind of cared about that because I wanted so bad to fit in. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to have a lot of friends, and it just never worked out that way. After a while, I started to accept that and start to accept myself, and I felt more comfortable. I became more comfortable in my skin. Now, sure, I have those days where, my confidence isn't at a 10 and maybe at like a 5, or sometimes a 1. Or on a really bad day, sometimes a negative 50. But you know what? I try consciously every day to embrace myself and embrace my authenticity. And for some people, that's not really popular. And I'm okay with that. So, no, I was not popular in school. I was never popular. I do think, though, because like I was saying, I was a little bit quiet in school. Now I'm a little bit more outspoken. So I believe if I was the same person, if I was the person that I am now was that person back then I think I may have had a different experience. I don't think I phrased that sentence right, but basically what I'm trying to say, if back then I was who I am now, I may have had a different experience as well. Or I may not have. I may have been in the same boat. Who knows? But no, was not popular in school. And at this point, I don't really care that I wasn't popular. I'm okay with it. Okay, next question. Let's see. Do I seem like, or I'll say it this way, am I a coffee or tea person? And if so, sweetened or unsweetened? Uh, so I will say that I'm more of a tea person. I drink coffee every now and then, but it's very seldom. With my tea, I drink it unsweetened. I feel like I get better benefits from it if I drink it unsweetened. So no sugar, no honey, none of that. I drink it straight black, Straight black tea. Okay, that's what I do. If I'm sick, I'll put honey in it. But other than that, I'm drinking it straight. And I've gotten used to the taste. So it doesn't faze me. Now, for those of you who drink black coffee, help me understand. Help me understand the madness. So maybe it's like the same concept as tea, like you've gotten used to the taste, but I still need to understand the madness. Help me understand, because I don't understand. But I would say I'm more of a tea person. I like unsweetened tea. That's my final answer, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. Here is the next question. How many speeding tickets have I gotten in my life? I haven't received any speeding tickets. I have gotten a ticket. It was a couple of years ago. It was for using my phone while driving. Now, I know you're like, Christian, gasp. Like, why would you do that? There's so many people that are dying from people using their phones and not paying attention to what they're doing. Let me explain my story before you go off. Let me explain the story, and you'll kind of see what I'm talking about. So, I was visiting my parents, and I was driving home on the expressway, and my car that I had at the time didn't have Bluetooth speakers so I could listen to music. I didn't have a portable Bluetooth speaker. Well, I did. I just didn't use it. But that's neither here nor there. So how I would listen to music is I would put my phone up to my ear and listen to it. I could have used headphones, but for some reason I did not have them at the time. Now, granted, this was at night. So the light from my phone was like shining on my face, okay? The police officer, he saw it. He stopped me. It was my first ticket. So when you get a ticket, at least in the United States, you're supposed to pull over to the right. I pulled over to the left because I'm like, surely he is not pulling me over, because I've never gotten a ticket in over 10 years. No, ma'am, he was definitely pulling me over. So he pulled me over. He gave me a ticket for that. Of course, he asked for license and insurance. For whatever reason, I could not find my insurance card, so I got a ticket for that. Thankfully, that got thrown out in court because I just had to bring it. I eventually found it and brought it to court. But yeah, I got a ticket before, but it wasn't for speeding. It was for something completely different. Yeah, and I was definitely crying. Okay? I was crying. Okay. Let's go to another question. Okay. Let's see. Am I usually early, on time, or late to events? Ooh, okay. It depends. So I would prefer, my preference is to be early to events so that I don't have to rush. I can just kind of take my time and get there and get comfortable, yada, yada. My reality is that I'm usually late. Everybody knows it. My parents know it. Everybody knows. And on top of that, my husband is late too. So we're just both late together. It's just a horrible combination. It's horrible. Everybody knows that we're late. We're just late freights. Now, my goal is to work on that and adequately prepare and get ready in enough time so that I can at least get to the event on time. That is the goal. But That's my reality, is that I'm usually late. Do not judge me, okay? I feel the judgment. Do not judge me. Okay. Okay, so we are going to take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsor, and we'll be right back with some more questions. Okay, so I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Goli gummies. Now, we all know that apple cider vinegar is the new health kick right now, okay? So you're supposed to take a shot or two in the morning. Some people take it 3 times a day, and you're supposed to get a lot of health benefits, such as losing weight, appetite control, etc. If you guys have ever taken apple cider vinegar shots, it is a very strong taste, okay? It's a very strong taste. It burns your throat when it goes down, just the whole nine. I used to take apple cider vinegar shots as well, and I just got sick of the taste. So I tried to find an alternative to it where I wouldn't lose the benefits, but the taste would be a little bit better. That's when I found out about Goli gummies. Now, Goli gummies, they are little gummies that has apple cider vinegar in it, and you get all of the same benefits of an apple cider vinegar shot. So the appetite control, the weight loss, etc. It's really tasty, so you don't have that burning sensation that's going down your throat every time you consume it. It's amazing. It comes in nice little packaging. They also have, you can also get an individual bottle if you want to try it, or you could do the 1 month supply, 3 month supply, or even a 5 month supply of these gummies. I take them every day and I love them. I try not to eat them as candy because they're just that good. If you want to take advantage of these gummies, I do have a special promo code for my listeners. You can go to go.goli.com/cfuller to get an additional 5% off your purchase. And there is nothing wrong with additional savings. I will take whatever I can get. So if you want to take advantage of these gummies, go to go.goli.com/cfuller to get additional savings. Okay, y'all, we are back. Okay, back with these questions. So here is the next question. What belief about yourself no longer serves you? What belief about myself no longer serves me? That I am, how do I want to phrase it? That I don't have the ability to do what God has called me to do. When I was doing private practice, so I just quit doing private practice maybe almost a couple months ago now. I really did not have a lot of faith in myself at all, especially just starting out. I felt like I wasn't capable of handling clients and handling their issues. I felt like I was too young. I was about 26 when I first started practicing. I just felt like I was overall just incapable of being an attorney, period. And it showed. It showed with the way I did my work. It showed with my clients. My clients were, of course, asking for my boss because they felt like I was incapable of handling their cases, which is a horrible feeling. I just didn't feel capable at all until I finally gained that confidence and that experience, which of course experience gives you that confidence as well, that I really do have the ability I went to school. I did what I needed to do. I learned what I needed to learn. After school, I gained the experience necessary in order to handle what I'm handling now. So I am indeed capable. I'm more than capable. I am able to do what I'm here to do. And I always doubt myself when I get in situations like that, situations that are new or uncomfortable, but I have to trust myself. So, a belief that no longer serves me right now is, that I'm incapable of doing anything. That's what I would say. Ooh, that was a deep question. Okay. We're getting deeper and deeper. We're not talking about plants no more. All right. Okay. Next question. Let's see. Admit something. Admit something? Ooh. Um, what do I want to admit? Um, I I admit that I self-sabotage my relationships, especially with my husband. My husband, he is a really good guy. He's pretty easygoing, and with us, things are great. Sometimes they're too great. And I'm thinking, let me just shake things up a bit. So, because this kind of seems like unknown territory for everything just to be great all of the time. And I would talk to my therapist about that, and she was like, "You really do self sabotage." I was like, excuse me, ma'am. Nobody told you to tell me that, first of all. No one told you to be in my business. I know I'm paying my money for you to get in my business, but I don't really want you to get in my business like that. Okay. She told me that. And so I had to take inventory, and that's something that I'm presently working on. But sometimes I do self sabotage and I shake things up with my husband, just so that there's a good mix of good and bad. It shouldn't be like that. I should embrace the good times, no matter how long they are, because in actuality, I don't know how long they will be. So I would say that for you guys too. If you have a long stretch of good things happening to you, embrace it. Don't look for the bad. Don't expect the bad. Just embrace it. Live in the present. So that's my admission for now. Okay, moving on along. Let's see. How do I know that I'm afraid of something? Ooh, okay. How do I know that I'm afraid of something? Well, physically, I'll get like heart palpitations. I'll get heart palpitations and I'll start to sweat. Mentally, I want to quit. That's when I know that I'm afraid of something or something is too hard. I will want to quit and get away from whatever it is. Emotionally, sometimes I may start crying. And that's embarrassing. I'm the type of person that cries over everything. And what I mean is I cry when I'm happy, I cry when I'm sad, I cry when I'm distressed, I cry when I'm angry, just the tears come. So I cry, of course, when I'm afraid too. But the main thing or the main characteristic of me being afraid is that I want to quit. I want to quit. Whatever is making me afraid, I want to get away from it, or I want to quit the activity. That's how I know. And I believe that for things that are going to cause me growth, I think I've missed key growth opportunities because I did not want to embrace that fear. But it's okay to embrace that fear. You know, you embrace it, you embrace the emotion, and then you keep telling yourself, I can do it, and I am going to combat this fear with action. And maybe that'll help my heart palpitations too. But that's how I know I'm afraid of something. Okay, next question. Why is it so difficult for us to be vulnerable? Woo! Why is it so difficult? Because I believe that it exposes us. When we're vulnerable, we're pretty much naked. And I don't mean just naked in the physical sense, but just naked mentally, emotionally. We are there, there's no guard. All of our protection is gone. All of our safety nets are gone. All of our security is gone. All of that is gone. And it's just us. And as we know, when we become vulnerable, that makes us more open to attack. And who wants to be open to attack like that? Not willingly. So if there's any way that you can prevent yourself from being open to attack, of course, you're going to put up that guard, you're going to put up that security, whatever. But being vulnerable, there's no protection. There's no protection. So people can come at you with their daggers, with their guns, with whatever weapon they have, their words, their actions, and come at you, and you have no defense. But I think that there is a ministry in vulnerability. I believe that there is a purpose in vulnerability. I believe that there is a beauty in vulnerability because that's the real you. That's who you are. The vulnerable you, that is you without the masks, without the protection, without the armor on, without the mask on. It's just you. It's just you. I think that some people don't like others seeing the real you because they feel like that would scare people. They feel like that would scare people, that would run people off. But you may be surprised as far as who will be able to embrace the vulnerable you. Now, I'm not saying that you should be vulnerable with everybody. You shouldn't be vulnerable with Joe Smo on the street because you don't know Joe Smo on the street. But whoever is closest to you, be vulnerable. Or if you're compelled, like me, to be vulnerable to strangers, do that. Because I believe that being vulnerable is helping others. I believe me being vulnerable on this podcast is helping others and it's encouraging others. And that's what I want to do that. So if the cost of that is for me to be vulnerable and expose some things that may be embarrassing to me or maybe put me in a weird light, then so be it. Because I just want to make sure that people are growing in life, and if they're learning from me to grow and to be the best versions of themselves, then that's all I can ask for. That's my answer. Okay, these questions are getting really deep. I don't know. I don't know about this. Okay. I'll probably do a couple more and then that'll be it. Okay, let's see. Is there anyone who has changed your life but doesn't know it? Who? Is there anyone who has changed my life and doesn't know it? That's a good question. I'm trying to think who that person is. I would say, and this may be cliche, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm going to say my husband, and I'll tell you why. My husband, if you remember from season 1, my husband is 18 years older than me, so there is an age gap. But he doesn't act like he's 18 years older than me. Sometimes he acts like he's 18 years younger than me. That's a different podcast episode. But my husband, when we first met, I was very closed-minded. And I didn't really know a lot. I thought I did, but I was just starting to get out in the world and really starting to see that there's a whole world outside of the little bubble that I was in. My husband helped expose that to me, but in a way that brought on maturity. He really helped me to be open-minded to different things, helped me to be open-minded to different ways of life, helped me to be open-minded to different people and how they may act. I was not the kind of person who was open to different people and different ways of life outside of how I was or outside of how I was living. And how could I encourage anyone if I'm not open to differences? I was not open to that at all. He definitely helped me with that. I would say also that he is the reason why I'm an attorney today. I'm not sure if I told this story on this podcast, but after graduating law school in May of 2015, I took the bar in July 2015. I put in the time, I put in the effort, and I failed. I failed by 6 points. I was distraught. I was sad. I was embarrassed. It was just a whole lot of emotions that were going on. I decided in my mind that I wasn't going to take the bar again. That was it. I wasn't taking that test again because it drained me physically, emotionally, mentally. It was just a lot. I said, well, I have my college degree. Now I have a law degree. I'm going to figure out what I need or what I can do with that. I don't necessarily have to practice. There are plenty of people who don't practice and they're doing well. I don't need to practice. I told my then boyfriend that, who is, of course, my husband now. And he was like, oh, no, you're taking that test again. And I was like, no, I'm not. Just like, first of all, who do you think you're talking to? Like, I am not taking this test again unless you're going to pay for it. I am not taking it again. And he was like, well, I can. But you are taking that test again. You've come too far for you to just quit and stop here. Like, that's crazy. And he really kind of encouraged me to look up people who failed the bar and who still succeeded. And I found out that there was a crap load of people who did, including Michelle Obama, my forever first lady, and Hillary Clinton, and Kennedy, and some other people. And I'm like, wow, so I'm in good company. Now, of course, they eventually did pass the bar. But that gave me the encouragement that I needed to pull myself up by my bootstraps and take the bar again. And I passed with flying colors. So I would say my husband has really changed my life for the better. And I cannot imagine my life without him, or how my life would be without him. So kudos to Landon Fuller. Okay, these questions are so deep. I just can't. I can't. I'm gonna do one more, and that's gonna be it. So here's the last question. When was the last time you felt the most yourself? So when was the last time I felt the most like myself? When was that time? I would say my I'm torn between two instances, so I'm gonna go with this one. I I felt the most like myself when I went with my husband to Jamaica. We were in a foreign country that we didn't know. We didn't know nothing about. But there was like this aura, this atmosphere of no stress, of not letting things bother them. Like one phrase that they will always use if something would come up is that, oh no, this isn't an issue, it's just a situation. And they would carry their lives like that. Like they wouldn't worry about anything. And so for the week that we were there, I wasn't worrying about anything. I felt free. I felt free as a bird. I felt more free there than I did in these United States. I felt like people embraced us, even though they didn't know us. They embraced us, what we looked like, what we talked like, what we sounded like, where we were from. They embraced all of that. And that really made me put my guard down and pull down and get out of my comfort zone and just have fun. And I felt like I was most myself there, natural curly hair and all. I didn't wear a lot of makeup. I was just me with my husband by the Caribbean Sea. It was just nice. So that was the last time I felt like myself. Okay. Well, I think we are going to end it there. I would love to hear you guys' responses to some of these questions. So let me know in the comments what your answers are. Or you can send me an email at mindofmillennials@gmail.com. Make sure to like our Facebook page, The Millennial Mind, and also make sure to like our Instagram page, the_millennial mind. And as always, I have a quote for you guys because I do love quotes and I know you guys love these quotes as well. So this one is from Arthur Ashe, and the quote is, "Success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is usually more important than the outcome." Thank you guys for listening to this episode, and until next week, I will talk to you guys soon.